Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. Another week is gone, and we're one step closer to fall. So, a lot has happened. What's going on, man? How are
We're
you
one
today?
step closer to Forbidden Door as well, which is pretty.
That is true. Yeah, we're 10 days away. Less than
I
that.
think so.
Yeah.
It's not this weekend; it's the weekend after, right?
Yes. Yeah. 2 weeks.
All right. So that's where I'm going to start. That's what I want to start
go.
with. I have to talk about Forbidden Door. So, from what they've announced for Forbidden Door, and it's obvious this, Tony Khan jumps on like 2 days before pay-per-view and throws in 3 more matches. So
100%.
But what we know now, it seems like it's very heavily AEW.
So far, yeah.
So far, like we have matches that we know. They said Tanahashi's going to be in a match because they said, it's his last match in England. So,
okay. I didn't even realize they announced.
Yeah, I saw that. He will have a match. We don't know what it is. Okay, but then we have the Hurt Syndicate against the tournament winners who are from AEW.
Okay.
Then Okada versus Swerve, AEW.
Okay.
Tony Storm versus Athena, all AEW. And then the rest of them that we know so far are going to involve other companies. There's that 4-way for the women's, the TBS title that Alex Windsor and Mercedes are in, but they've said that someone from Stardom and someone from CMLL will be in that too. They have Kyle Fletcher, who challenged someone from New Japan, so that's all happening. And then they said the New Japan title is going to be in that 4-way, the winner of that 4-way match from AEW.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy.
Yes, it is.
Side tangent. I think Nigel wins. Side tangent, but I think he does. I think he's going to face Jack Sabre because it's in England.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
You got to give both of them their flowers. I mean, for the wrestling purists, that will be like up there of one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. Yeah. And it almost has to be Nigel. I agree with you on that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. And that's going to be like because Zack Sabre Jr. faced Danielson last year. Was it last year or the year before?
I
think it might have been the year. No, I don't remember.
I can't remember. No, because he was.
I think it was last year. The year before was when when it was Okada.
Oh yeah, the year before was Okada. You're correct.
And then the year before that he was hurt.
Yes.
So yeah, it must have been last year. So yeah, that was a great match. And Nigel's obviously also very technically skilled, so that's going to be a great match. But anyway, back to my point. Very significantly AEW, and I get it because again, I don't follow New Japan that much right now. Mm-hmm. It seems like they're kind of in a slow period, like where they're rebuilding. They have lost a lot of people, like Okada and Ospreay and Jay White, and they've lost a lot of people. So they are kind of rebuilding. Like from what I've heard, they have some people like Tanahashi who are very older and on their way out, and then they have a lot of younger people who are developing, mm-hmm. but they don't have, other than Zack Sabre Jr. Forgive me and correct me if I'm wrong, internet. They don't have too many, in their prime main event guys right now. From what I can tell,
I'd agree to that.
So I get it, but what do you think that means for? Does it still feel like Forbidden Door? Or does it just feel like an AEW pay-per-view?
No, it'll feel like Forbidden Door. I think they'll do it up special, even if it's people that you may not know. Like, obviously, there's not going to be like huge names like Okada and Will Ospreay, but they'll highlight people that you're gonna know. If I know that,
that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like, they're going to put, obviously Kyle Fletcher wins the match, but as Callis said in his little promo, I don't care who you give me anybody.
Right.
Okay, they'll give him. I can't even think of anybody, but we'll say El Phantasmo for some reason. Someone that you may have heard their name,
right?
Or excuse me, maybe saw them wrestle 1 or 2 times in the past on an AEW or Forbidden Door type deal. But yeah, they'll let them shine, as in give New Japan the rub of the AEW talent. In my opinion, that's what
I'm a little surprised. Now I just thought of it. I didn't write it down. I'm a little surprised. It seems like they're going to do Mox and Darby at Forbidden Door because, Yuta had the Forbidden Door thing stuck on his head.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Mox isn't facing someone from Japan because he loves facing people from Japan.
I know. I thought the same thing when that happened. But yeah. Excuse me.
I feel like Mox has like his like bucket list of obscure Japanese wrestlers that only he's seen matches from and that he wants to wrestle. I'm surprised that he's not wrestling someone like that. Like, oh, this guy hasn't wrestled in 10 years, but he's really good. And I'm going to have a great match with him. Like, I thought that that's what Mox would do.
I agree. It's, I don't know. It's funny. I'm excited to see Darby come back. But I don't know. I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't feel very Forbidden Door.
Like no, I kind of wish they would do it at another show. I thought they might. Yeah. I thought they might do it in Toronto, and I thought they might do it in the Philadelphia series.
Oh yeah.
I thought they might do it there because they're going to do something nuts, and I thought it would make sense. I thought it would make sense to do it in Philly if they're going to have some like crazy off the wall match. That they could do it there. I'm a little surprised it's at it seems like it's going to be at Forbidden Door unless they find a way to not do it at Forbidden Door.
Well, that's true. I mean, technically, did Mox accept? I mean,
no.
I mean, they could also do that. Like, I'm not giving you the satisfaction.
Yeah, something like that. They could do that. And I assume that, I mean, CMLL is involved. I assume MJF is going to face someone from CMLL.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because, I mean, he won a title, right? He won one of their world titles.
Yeah, I believe so.
I looked it up. I think he won the...
It's like their Intercontinental.
Yeah, it's like their light heavyweight world title or something. Like they have stricter weight limits.
Okay.
But I don't know. Again, forgive me if I'm wrong. From what I've read about it, it's kind of like how you said the ROH TV title is more. Is it TV title?
Oh, yeah.
Is more prestigious than the world title.
Gotcha.
I think this title, because they have stricter weight limits, like this is like under 235 pounds or something like that.
Okay.
And that's where most of the most popular wrestlers, I think,
people fall. Okay.
Fall. So this title is actually, I think, more popular than like the heavyweight title.
That's awesome. That's cool. I like that.
So they'll probably do something with that. So that'll be fun. I mean, I'm excited for Forbidden Door. It does feel, I mean, it was always going to not feel as monumental as the first couple, right? Because that was just like the first one was like, oh wow, they're actually doing this.
Yeah.
But then there was also a million injuries. So then the second one was just like, oh wow, they're actually doing this, and like everyone's going to be in it. It's going to have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay and Okada, and like everyone's going to be there. And then, I mean, it's always obviously going to never feel it's this very bad grammar. It's never going to feel that special again as it did the first like year or two.
I agree.
But I mean, it obviously it's not going to go anywhere because I mean it feels
for sure
big still, and like that arena is almost sold out already. Like it's very popular. It's a very popular show,
and like since it's been so long that there were like super shows like this. Again, I once the like you said, like once the heat wears off, you know. If they'll do something like we've talked about in the past, like maybe making maybe like not necessarily a championship, but like Forbidden Door for men and women is just a tournament,
right?
Like, you know, like you qualify to be at Forbidden Door, and then you know that the brackets are made that night or something. You know what I mean? Like they'll to do something like that. I think would be cool too, eventually.
And I can see them involving more companies. I mean, it's in England this year, so they'll probably involve Rev Pro to some capacity. Now they have CMLL, which they didn't have before. I feel like this is going to be where they involve, you know, their partners every year. And depending on where it is, they might have a different partner in that area that they'll work with.
That's a good point too. Like it'll always be AEW New Japan, but if it's in, I don't know, say France next year, there'll be some big you know, France wrestling promotion involved.
Right. Yeah.
Good call.
I mean, I'm excited for it. It just does feel like it does feel more AEW to me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because AEW always does like it's going to be a good show. Absolutely. AEW always has good shows. And while we're still on Forbidden Door, we never really talked about this. I loved how Will Ospreay came out. He was like, "Oh yeah, I have serious spine issues, and there's like, you know, bulging discs in my back, herniated discs or whatever, but I'll be back in like 4 weeks."
Yeah. Yeah. I legit laughed at that. Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's very bad. I'm gonna have to do a lot of rehabilitation. I'll be back by Forbidden Door. I'm like, that's like a month from now.
Yeah.
Like, that's
yeah.
I thought he was gonna say I'll be out the rest of the year or something. He's like, no, it's a couple weeks. And I'll be back.
Yeah. You're just taking some time off, buddy.
he could have said nothing. And he's not gone long enough that it would have been noticeable. Right? Like,
exactly.
I wonder if he actually comes back, because it's only like 2 weeks from now. I feel like he might have like, they'll just announce that he's going to appear because they don't know how well he's going to.
Oh, well, that could
be. And then he'll do something like he'll either do a run-in or he'll do a short match with like a non-promoted match. Because I feel like if you say Will Ospreay's having a match, people expect like a 20-minute epic Will Ospreay match, and maybe he's not in the state to do that right now. So if they just say Will Ospreay will be there, so that people are excited to see him and know he's going to be there, but like you're not expecting him versus Kenny Omega or something,
right?
You know what I mean, like, I don't know. It'll be fun to see what happens with that too.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's fun to think about for the sole fact that if they would do something like, I don't know, like just say Max did the open challenge again.
Yeah.
And Ospreay's, like, something like that. Ospreay's music hits. It's like, oh no. And it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like a 3-minute match or something. And it's over. Yeah. And he gets to be in front of the crowd, that UK crowd, but he doesn't have to have like
doesn't have to kill himself,
Yeah. I also think Ospreay's one of those guys like Danielson or probably Mox, who can't have like a not crazy match.
Also true.
He has to have a 20-minute match. He can't do like he just in him. Yeah. If he's gonna have a match, it's gonna be epic. It's not just gonna be like a regular match. He can't do a regular match.
It just can't have a normal 7-minute wrestling match.
Yeah, low stakes 7-minute like TV wrestling match where no one gets hurt. He's like, okay, well, do a 7-minute match, but I'm also gonna fly off the apron 6 times and land. I want to land spine first on the guardrail. You just had back surgery. I don't know, but I want to do it anyway.
I want to test out the stainless steel they put in there.
But yeah, Forbidden Door will be fun. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I am too. It's always a good show, but like you said, it feels a little different this year. But I mean, it's obviously going to deliver, and it's an early one again, so that's good too.
Yeah, and it's a Saturday. Is it a Saturday this year?
No, this is a Sunday. This is the last Sunday.
But it's early Sunday.
Yes. So yeah. This is the last Sunday pay-per-view of the year for AEW. All the rest are.
Yeah. And I don't mind staying up till like midnight if it's going to be Saturday, because then Sunday's the next day and it's not as bad. So yeah,
totally agree. Would you have anything to add on your topic?
No, that's all I wanted to say about that. You can talk about what you want to talk about.
I went a little different. I just chose managers in AEW, and AEW has kind of built a really cool little system with their managers, and we're going to also put managers and mentors in. But just right off the top, these are the actual managers that AEW has. They have Don Callis, Prince Nana, Stokely Hathaway, Daddy Magic, Luther, Alex Abrahantes, Mark Sterling, Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, Thunder Rosa, and then there's mentors. We have Mox from the Death Riders, Athena, Christian, Dustin, and also Paul White. And did I say Thunder Rosa or did I leave her out?
I think you left her out.
Okay, Thunder Rosa is also under the mentors. Excuse me.
Nice.
Now, with the mentors, it's more of like, I think Tony Khan gets this from probably somebody from the Jaguars, where you have somebody who like Billy Starks, she literally went from like her mom's house to the world. You know what I mean? Like she's 19.
Wasn't she like 18 when she started in
yeah,
age?
like yeah. You know what I mean? So obviously Athena is showing her the ropes on, how to be a pro, how to save your money, how to travel. but also Athena is kind of Billy's mouthpiece. So Athena pulls like double duty.
Right.
Not that Billy can talk. I mean, she can, but she needed just a little something.
And she's more over because of her association with Athena. Like she would have been over on her own probably because she's a good wrestler, but she's automatically more over because she's with Athena. Yeah.
Right. And well, you got to my next point. You have someone like Don Callis, who they gave him a whole freaking stable of people who, other than Takeshita was very over.
Yeah.
And everybody in there, like, okay, everybody knew Lance Archer. Lance Archer was kind of indifferent. I mean, good matches for a big man.
Right.
You now hate Lance Archer just because he's associated.
Even like Rocky Romero, who hasn't done much.
Right.
And you're like, he has a personality now. Like you care about him more.
Yeah. And like just the mouthpiece.
And by hasn't done much, I mean in AEW. I'm not saying he hasn't done much in his
Correct. You have someone like Alex Abrahantes when he would translate Penta's promos, like amazing. He was,
except when he wore that weird little cloak thing, he looked really lame.
Oh, that was dumb. Yeah, he looked like one of the Thundercats.
Yeah, he looked really bad. He should have just worn regular clothes. I don't know what he was doing.
I forgot about that. Other than that was poor choice.
Yeah,
but yes. Like that was the first time that someone was able to do weekly promos in their native language, and it was literally translated verbatim, and they weren't made fun of.
Yeah,
it was.
How insane is that to say?
Exactly.
I know it's true. Like that's 100% true. But how insane is that to say?
Yeah, I was literally just going to say that. Like, I can't believe I just said that out loud. Where the
it was like 2022 or something when that was.
Yeah. It's not like I'm talking about in 1937. This is the first one. No,
it was like
3
or 4 years ago.
Yeah, like 30 months ago. This happened.
That's insane because wrestling is an insane industry.
Yes. Alex Abrahantes, like, I don't want to say made the Lucha Brothers, but he showed people that you don't have to scream into a microphone.
Right.
You can let your wrestling speak for you, per se.
Right.
Now, the other end of that coin, we have people like Mark Sterling and Stokely Hathaway. Again, great like characters, but they are like the Bobby Heenans of, they're the heel managers, which you have a situation with Stokely going on right now. Like, he came out and he's like, I used my pull around here. You can't touch my guys. And then, of course, Copeland says, oh, okay, well then I'll just go after you. Like, oh, why didn't think of that? It's such an easy trope to use. And it's been used forever, but it works every time.
Yeah, and especially like the beating up the Weasley little heel manager. Like, Bobby Heenan's whole thing was like he was actually the Weasel. He was like a Weasley little manager that like everyone wanted to beat up on. So yeah, that definitely worked.
Like, Stokely and Sterling, someone just lays one little, like they push them and the crowd goes nuts.
Yeah, like and Stokely with the crutch nonstop.
Oh, it's amazing.
Great.
And again, it's going to be insane that I'm saying this out loud. You have guys like Christian, Dustin, and Paul White, but mainly Paul White and Dustin. In their former company, they literally went to the brass and was like, hey, my career is winding down. I want to help the young people. And they got fired. Like, so they came to AEW and like now they're doing it like there. And I really like, I think that is showing, like, you had people like Paul White mentoring big men like, I can't think of who it is. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Will Hobbs. There it is.
Right.
All of a sudden, Will Hobbs learned how to use his body.
Right.
If you like, it was more power slams and more like, he got the psychology of being a big man. And I think Dustin and Paul White are I don't want to say the front runners of that, but they know the business, and they're large men, they're passing that along because they want to.
Yeah, I feel like Mark Henry helped with that too, and then he left to like, I'm gonna go back to WWE, and then did nothing at all.
Yeah, unfortunately I agree. That's what happened. Oh, where am I? Oh, and the opposite of Stokely is you have Prince Nana. He's the he's not a mouthpiece because Swerve doesn't need him, but he's the babyface manager where Swerve's in the middle of a sentence and you just hear from the background whose house, and the crowd's in. Like, it works perfectly. Same with Luther. Luther with the with Tony Storm, the babyface.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the spotlight is hers, just like with Swerve, but it's the little things next to the ring, get the crowd clapping when she's down or when he's down. It's such a great trope that, again, we didn't have it for like 30 years.
It's weird we didn't, because like you said, like managers add so much to the thing. And I mean, WWE, WWF is what killed it. They got rid of managers. They replaced them with like valets, because Miss Elizabeth was successful. So then, like, now everyone has to just have a woman, but the women can't do anything. They can't be.
Like, they have to be objects.
They just have to stand there. And then they just got rid of that too. It's weird that they did that, because there's so many. All the examples we talked about was it working in WWF. Like, they had Bobby Heenan and Slick and Mr. Fuji and like and it worked all the time. And then they were just like, we're just not going to do this anymore, so no one else will either. And it was just gone for 30 years. And then
I mean, and look how good it works. Like, and not just because like there's a lot of international wrestlers and a language barrier. Like, Don Callis literally just gets effed on Callis chance when he's on broadcast. They can't even hear him.
And it's smart, because it's a good way to get someone over as a heel. Like, it seemed like FTR turned on Copeland, and like the people still cheered them when they did that, because people like to cheer cool heels sometimes, right? So people still cheered them a bit when that happened, until they started hanging out with Stokely exclusively, and then like, oh, this guy we don't like. So if he's with other people, like if these guys are now with him, then we don't like them either. Like, it's an easy way to make you a heel. Like, Kyle Fletcher is a heel. He's more of a heel because he's with Don Callis.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what is my final point. You have Daddy Magic with Garcia and Christian with Nick Wayne. That's your heel and baby face, but your mentor also.
Right.
It's teaching them how to be a character. I mean, they were, Kip Sabian, Nick Wayne. Well, Nick Wayne, this is his first job, but Nick Wayne understands the business. Kip was an indie wrestler, Garcia, indie wrestler. They might not have known, how to rent a car or so, you know what I mean? Like the small
how things, to do all that stuff. Yeah.
You put them with a guy, you put them with an older guy from the road, and it's worked. And I think this is just the start. Like, I think this is going to be a system where any rookie or up and comer is coming in, they're going to be put with someone. Oh, I forgot. Leo Rush is another one with Action Andretti.
Right.
Sorry, Leo. I think it's going to be things like that, because it proves that it works.
And like, AEW's always been good at this. It extends people's careers too. Like, you don't have, like, Billy Gunn gets to be on TV all the time when he doesn't.
Billy Gunn off the list
when he's not wrestling, but he does. And if he wants to wrestle, he can, but he doesn't have to wrestle all the time, because he's basically a manager, but he can, or a mentor, but he can still get involved if he wants to.
100%. It's like, the more I got into it, the more interesting it became, and the more entwined like they were in the stories, and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the managers in AEW are main characters, and it's like you didn't even realize it.
I was thinking about this a couple days ago when Swerve came out with Prince Nana, and once in a while I forget that Prince Nana's there. Like, when I think of Swerve, you don't think of Swerve being cool and coming out being cool. You don't necessarily always think of
true.
So he came out with them, and I was just like, oh, it's interesting. I was just thinking this myself, like, that it's interesting because Swerve has this like really stoic, cool persona, right? He comes up, he has the cool theme music, he has like the lights, he kind of just walks straight to the ring, like no nonsense kind of guy. And then Nana's in the background, like jumping around and dancing, and like, I thought, oh, they don't really fit together. Like when you look at them, they don't necessarily fit together.
Right.
How I'm surprised that Nana's still there. That was my thought. I'm surprised Nana's still there because Swerve doesn't need that. Swerve has his own aura and his own, he doesn't need him at all. But you're right. The small stuff, like he yells whose house and then people respond, or it can make Swerve more vulnerable, right? Like Swerve is a tough badass, but Nana's not. So a heel can mess with Prince Nana to make Swerve mad, and then you have another story option, right? Like maybe they can't mess with Swerve, but they can mess with Prince Nana. Like it adds a lot to it.
Yeah, it's a very interesting wrestling trope. Like, and there's always like
it works for a heel and a face. Like, that's
what I was just gonna say.
Someone like Stokely. Someone like Stokely can get picked on by Adam Copeland, and it's funny, and everyone laughs and thinks it's great. But then if someone picks on Prince Nana, you're like, oh God, how could they do that? Like it works both ways.
And it's just fun. Like I had so much fun looking into it and doing that. Like I think I'm going to start to do more stuff like that, but that was I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I never thought of how many managers and like mentors and mouthpieces and people like that there are until you mentioned it.
And how they're all ingrained in like the major things going. It's not just like background stuff, you know?
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
And even little things like you said, like teaching them about, being on TV or teaching them about working in a larger company. Like obviously not many people have a ton of experience in AEW because it's only been around 6 years, right? But someone like Christian has a ton of experience in TV wrestling companies and not just WWE. He also worked for TNA. Like he's had a long history of work, or like Sting when he was there. Like he also worked for TNA. He also worked for WCW. Like he worked for a bunch of companies. And there are little things like you said, how to rent a car. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't know if they give you a manual when you get a job at AEW. Like I have no idea how this works. Right. I don't know anything about this. So if you just show up and you've only been on indies and you're expected, indie, my match is on at 8. I show up at 7, for example. I have no clue how it works. But I show up at 7. I get dressed up. I warm up. I talk to my opponent for a little bit, and then we have a match, and then I help take down the ring later. And that's how this works. Right. Like you do enough indies, you get used to how that works. Well, I'm assuming it's not the same in a huge company with TV. So Christian probably can tell someone like Nick Wayne, oh yeah, in a TV company, you have to show up at 3 because they usually do like photo shoots before, or they do interviews before or something. So you have to show up at 3. And it's really great if you get this hotel in this town because it's closer to the building or something, right? Like
absolutely
stuff like that you would probably not know.
Right. Like you said, like you make sure you park in this lot, like get this, of course it's a shame that it took that long for that to exist. Like, and why wouldn't that be?
It's a shame that it took so long for it to, like, not from what I can tell. Again, we're not backstage, but from what I can tell, it's not a toxic relationship. Like you always hear stories about like Undertaker and the old guys who are like, if you didn't shake everyone's hand, we made you change in the shower or something, right? Like, but that wasn't like some wrestlers will say, oh, that really, like, I think Adam Copeland's talked on this, like he got bullied by Bradshaw a whole bunch and was like, oh, but it taught me a lot about wrestling because that was his way of teaching me by like, if I did something wrong, he would bully me. And I'm like, I guess, but like, you don't have to be a jerk to everybody. Like, you can,
yeah. Like, oh, you come over and spit on my food after
the
cool, thanks. I guess I did that armbar wrong.
I saw a clip. I didn't see the whole episode, but what was his name? The guy who played Muhammad Hassan. Remember him in WWE?
Yeah.
He had a dark side of the ring about his career, and I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw a clip of it on like Instagram or something. And he was talking about how, there's a thing in wrestling that he's known because he was in wrestling before WWE that like if someone else is using your finishing move as like a transition move, you should go talk to them about it because it's making your move look bad. Like if your finish is a DDT and then 5 other guys are doing DDTs on the same show and none of them are ending the match, it could make your finisher look bad.
Right.
So there's a thing about that. His finisher was like a I think like a camel clutch or something. I forget what it was. I think that's what it was. And so that was his finisher. And Eddie Guerrero used to use it like as a transition move. And he went and told Eddie, he's like, hey, that's my finishing move. Can you not use it when I'm on the same show as you or something? Because it makes my move look bad. And Eddie Guerrero's like, oh, my grandfather invented that move or something. He's like, oh, sorry. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to do that. And then they called him into wrestler's court, and Undertaker was like, you have to pay everyone's bar bills for the next week or something like that. And they went out, and all the wrestlers were like making him buy him drinks and just like pouring out the drinks and like, buy me another one, just to like waste his money. And he's like, oh, but that's when that's how they were teaching me that to respect the elders. I'm like, they could have just told you that. I mean, and then he said Eddie Guerrero was nice and came over and was like, hey man, it's not a problem. I would just wanted to tell you that my grandfather admit, like Eddie Guerrero was fine with it. He wasn't being a jerk. But like you could just not be a jerk to people. And I feel like AEW has that where they're like, again, we're not there, but it really seems like at least current AEW is not like, oh, you can just talk to someone and ask them something instead of like, oh, you're supposed to shake everyone's hand before, but they're not ever going to tell you that. And if you try to shake their hand, they're going to be mean to you. But don't worry, when they're mean to you, that actually means they like you. Like,
yeah, I mean, me and you've talked about it a million times. Like when Arn Anderson said, like, actually in public when AEW first started, he doesn't understand why anyone doesn't come up and talk to him and ask him for advice. Well, it's for that reason. Like everyone's terrified of you. It's like, oh yeah, back in the day, if you asked Arn this, he'd punch in the mouth.
Right. Oh, you how dare you talk to a veteran? You're an open card guy. You better not speak to him. Right.
Yeah, like all these unwritten rules, like it's like, of course no one's going to talk to you. I'll go talk to this guy over here because he was nice to me.
So it does seem like the newer generation, and by newer generation, I mean guys who've been around since like the late 90s and 2000s. Like they seem like they're not like the people who were around in the 70s and 80s. So it definitely seems like it's helping. And the veterans in AEW, at least from what I can tell, seem like they want to help you, not like make themselves look big. So
totally,
that's helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And I love how they do it. Like Sting is the example for everyone.
Absolutely. I mean, what Sting did in AEW was not only monumental for, I mean, how old he was jumping off balconies and stuff, but also, I mean, selfless. He came in and just worked with anybody and anybody who would work with it. It was amazing.
The interesting thing about that is people have said like, oh, he's a great example of how to be a legend in wrestling, which is true. Like he doesn't seem like he's bitter or full of himself or anything.
Right.
Like he's just there to help. But it's also a great example of how to treat a legend in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like they actually like treated him with respect, but not like over the top respect. Like he got he got enough respect that everyone respected him, but he was still treated like a wrestler. And not like anything, like he got a good amount of respect, the respect that he deserved, and he got the exit he deserved. And it says a lot about him, but it also says a lot about Tony Khan and AEW as a company that they treat people like that.
Totally. And from the beginning, I think the mindset of AEW being a team, unlike the other wrestling company and wrestling companies that have been like, you're a team. Everybody knows it's not real. Yeah. And we all know you're all working together anyway. So like it is a team effort from.
Yeah. Did you hear Mercedes said that on a podcast or something recently?
No, I did not.
They asked her about it was like half in character, half out of character. So it's hard to tell, but they asked her about the differences between WWE and AEW. And she was like, oh, the backstage environment is so great in AEW. Like I have my own locker room. Like she was in character talking about that.
Right.
But then she was also saying like, no, what I like is everyone here is on the same side. We all want to do better and we all want the shows to be better and we all want to push each other. And we're not like, it's obviously there's some competition because you want to be the main event, but it's not like negative competition. It's more like positive competition. Everyone does their absolute best and tries to pull everyone up and like work hard. And some people will do better than others, but it's not like they're trying to hold anyone down or screw anyone over. It does seem like it's a team. Like they all kind of work together.
And I agree with that. And it seems like if something's going a certain way and the crowd either likes it and it wasn't supposed to be liked, or if the crowd doesn't like it, it just ends or changes.
Or changes. Yeah.
The only reason I'm saying this because I'm looking at his picture on my phone right now of Kyle Fletcher. Like, just say Tony Khan didn't think he was ready and the crowd wanted him to be TNT champion, he still would be TNT champion.
Right.
Tony would have listened to the responses and he would have.
WWE always had that thing where they got mad at you if you got more over than they wanted you to be over.
Of course. Yeah, that's your fault to make yourself look good. Like you're supposed to be an independent contractor, right? So you're gonna go out there and just make an ass out of yourself, or you're gonna go out there and do 5,000% to make yourself look the best. Like,
right.
That's what you're gonna do.
And on the slightly related notes, I think we talked about this before. Swerve once said, he goes, the interesting thing about wrestling compared to any other sport or acting is like there's a live audience part of it, but there's also stories, right? So it's not like acting or sports. It is sports entertainment. That's what it is. And he said a good thing about, if you're a creative wrestler and you're a creative person, you shouldn't be scared to lose matches because you can just take the loss. It's fake, right? You can take the loss and make a story about the loss that would be as interesting, if not more interesting, than the story of the win. Right. And he said, like, I think he's lost a bunch recently. He has. And I don't think he actually cares about that, because he's just like, oh, whatever happens. Like, he lost that match to Christian, and who was it? Him and Christian lost to Sting and Darby in London like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He lost that match and then made a story out of that. Like, oh, that was my big moment to be in Wembley and I lost, and then I had to change myself to do better. Like, he made a whole story out of that.
Yeah, that's sick.
Right? Like, because it's fake.
Right. Right.
So you can make your story whatever you want it to be. It's not real. Right? Like,
yeah, I mean, look at a character like Danhausen. Like, literally, Danhausen rarely wrestles, and when he does, it's also hilarious. And like, so the dude makes, like, there's just money falling out of his wallet at all times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have like the best physique. He doesn't like. All his matches, they're fun. He's
like not the greatest wrestler. Yeah.
Like, but he got himself way over, and he got himself, like, he's a brand.
Yeah.
Basically. You know what I mean? Like, he's in the absolute definition of an independent contractor. He went out and worked his butt off, and now everybody knows who Danhausen. That's,
and I understand the point of, like, oh, if you lose absolutely all the time, that's harder to make a good storyline out of. I get that. I do. But, like, you can, if you're good, you can, right? Like, Toni Storm's entire gimmick is because she lost the title. Like, that's her entire gimmick that made her super successful, was because she lost.
That's true. Like, never thought of that.
If you're creative, I mean, Swerve too, kind of. If you're creative, you can do that. So I know we've got off topic, but, like,
no, that's
wrestlers take stuff too seriously, man. Like, just, I know there's egos involved, and I know you want to look cool on TV. I totally get it. I get it. Like, but come on.
But see, again, that was one person's vision of what this was supposed to be, because they were the only concert in town.
Yeah, and they cultivated that
whole atmosphere and the whole and. I hate to say it, but there was literally one place to work to make money. Like,
well, speaking of that, we can transition into my topic. Speaking of how there used to only be one place to work that made money, or to make money. They really don't want there to be a second place to work, if you've noticed.
Yeah, they don't. Well, I'm glad you brought this up. Just doing random research. Take a guess on this is. Now, this would be like if it was me and you, not like we're not talking like Ethan Page, Ricky Starks type. Take a guess what the starting salary at NXT is.
I feel like it's not much.
It's not much.
I feel like it's like $30,000 or something.
It was $45,000.
Yeah, that's bad.
Well, first off, I don't know how you live in Florida on $45,000 a year.
Right.
But that being said, how do they expect? Well, that's why they don't like competition, because again, this was a simple Google search. It was much easier to find NXT's base salary.
Right.
And from a couple of different places. So like, it wasn't just like I looked at one place and stopped.
Right.
AEW's was a little harder to find. Again, still not much money, but it's better. And rumor, again, this isn't set in stone here, was 60,000.
And AEW lets you wrestle other places, though.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. And you're allowed to have like a YouTube channel, and you're allowed to sell your shirts on pro wrestling.
And you can wrestle in indies, right? Like if you AEW's 1 or 2 days a week at most, right? Like maybe you wrestle Wednesday and Saturday, maybe not often, but say you do, right? Say you could also wrestle Friday and Sunday for somebody else, and that's fine, right? Like
and
that's why when people talk about Tony Khan, benches people who want to go to WWE. First, Nick Khan was just like, oh, we don't bench people. Like, yeah, you obviously do. Clearly you do. There's a laundry list of names of wrestlers who you can name who haven't been on TV in months, and like you do. So fine. And I'm not even mad at them for that, because like you only have so much TV time. I get it, right? I understand. But if you're a WWE wrestler and they're not using you on TV, you're probably still getting paid by WWE, but that's it. You can't do anything else. They don't let you. Right. Like at least Tony Khan lets you. Oh yeah, you can't wrestle for WWE, but you can wrestle for pretty much anyone else. And you can have a streaming channel, and you can go online. You can do whatever you want, as long as you're not like on WWE programming.
And like, again, that's the definition of an independent contract.
Right.
But yeah, like that's when I saw that, like that fit. Now, again, I understand that that's a starting salary, but what can you possibly like? Again, people make ends meet on much, much, much less. I get that, but that is such a poor start to do that put your body through that for that little bit of money. In my opinion,
it's because they sell you on the dream, right? It's the same thing that they do with, college kids starting a new job. So then they give you an internship.
Well, and like, that's true.
Right. They give you an internship and they're like, oh, but if you work at this internship for a long time, you're going to have a job here, and you may never, like this might never. Right. So they do the same thing with them. Oh, we'll pay you $40,000, but one day you could be headlining WrestleMania. I mean, you probably won't. Very few people do. Right. Yeah. But that's what they sell you on. Like from what I've heard, and I don't know if this is true. From what I've heard, people like Stephanie Vaquer, I'm not sure I pronounce her name, and Mariah May, like they took less to go to WWE because they wanted to be in WWE. Which, I mean, I guess I get.
If that's your dream,
if that's your dream, go for it. But that's what WWE counts on. We don't have to pay you more because we're WWE and you want to work here.
And hey, more power to you if that's how you have to get your people. But you're going to have a lot of people with sour taste in their mouths.
Oh, for sure.
And I mean, I guess since it was never my dream, but like you could see that. People saw that in the 90s when they were the most popular show in town, that there were just certain people that weren't going to be certain things.
Right.
I mean,
and that's just, well, we're going to circle back a little bit. I want to go into why we're talking about this. And if you haven't heard, this is from John Pollock and Brandon Thurston. WWE will be adding a premium live event in September on the same day as AEW's All Out pay-per-view. Post Wrestling spoke with multiple sources with knowledge of the WWE event schedule, who confirmed a yet-to-be-announced PLE will take place on Saturday, September 20th in Indianapolis. Throughout the year, NXT premium live events have been scheduled, though this is the first time it's going to be a main roster show to go up against All Out. And then we got a report from numerous sources, and I think it's Andrew Baydala. I don't know who he is, but he's a reporter. With the announcement coming eminently regarding a WWE PLE in September, Cena versus Lesnar could likely be the selling point of the PLE, Considering it would be in direct competition with All Out, WWE will likely feature 2 or 3 major matches at this PLE, which will take place in Indianapolis. So they're obviously, like, you can say forever that they're not competition. They're competition.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't do that for not competition.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
exactly.
And I get it that it's in an anti-competitive way. It's in the same way, Starbucks will set up next to a small coffee shop to run that small coffee shop out of business. When Starbucks, like, that competition isn't taking money away from Starbucks. They just want to make sure that if you're going to get coffee, it's going to be Starbucks. Like, that's
correct.
all they care about. They don't care about, okay, I have a couple points on this. One, they don't care about what the fans want, because there are fans who will watch both shows. Like, there's going to be. And they don't, if they wanted to maximize their own number of views, they would put it on a day when nothing else wrestling related was on.
Right.
They don't care about that. They care about stopping people from checking out AEW in any way. And they also care about controlling the media, which WWE loves to do. They love it. It's like the one they're not great at putting on a wrestling show, but they're very good at controlling PR.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They want, so that if you go to any wrestling website or any wrestling Twitter feed or any wrestling Instagram page, that it's not all AEW. At least part of it is going to be Cena versus Lesnar, which is why they're doing big names. They're not putting on their best possible match.
Right.
They're not putting on this like super well built year-long storyline. Last time they did it, they rushed Goldberg's retirement because they wanted Goldberg because he's a big name. And now they want Cena versus Lesnar, who I don't think will even have a storyline because they're both part-time and probably won't be on TV much. So I think Cena only has like 11 dates left in this year on his contract. And you don't know how many Lesnar has, probably not very many.
Right.
So they're probably going to, like, the week before that pay-per-view have a thing, and then they're going to have the match. So, like, they're not trying to build the best possible show. They're trying to put a show with big names to go against the AEW show.
And this is where WWE drops the ball continually. Nobody cares about that on the AEW side. You're only hurting your own fans that like both. And they're going to watch both anyway.
They are only hurting their whole fans, but I think it's pretty, you're right. Nobody who orders an AEW pay-per-view is going to not order it because of WWE.
Right.
Like, that's probably true. But what they're terrified of is that a small number of people heard about this AEW thing, and maybe they'll just try it because they hear they have a big show. And that's what they don't want. That's what they're scared of.
Agreed. But they can do whatever they want. The AEW audience is the audience that they pushed away.
But that's their problem, though. They're pushing more people away.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was just getting at. And they're not, I was just going to say, and they're not helping the situation by doing things like this.
They're pushing more people away, and they're terrified, though, that they would rather have those people stop watching wrestling forever than watch anyone else. Right. So their goal is to make sure that if you're mad at WWE and you want to stop watching WWE, you just quit watching wrestling and not think, hey, there's this other show I heard that's out there that I might want to watch. That's what they're scared of.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that.
And they're scared they're not scared from like AEW is going to take over wrestling. It's not. Like, WWE is massive and huge. And it's not. They're scared, like we talked about, they're scared from like a salary standpoint. They don't want any wrestler whose contract runs out goes, oh, but AEW is going to offer me this much. You have to pay me more. Every single one. And why wouldn't you?
Exactly. I mean, yeah, if you were a WWE equivalent of Action Andretti, since I don't know one, I'm just going to say that, and your contract's up, you better at least send, if you have an agent or feelers or whatever, to AEW to see, like, hey, even if you're not interested in me, here's my catalog. What would you offer me?
Right.
To just say, hey, this is what they're offering me right now. Like,
and even guys who aren't in any of those companies, right? Say you work for New Japan or you work for an indie, and you're getting some buzz. And before, if you worked for an indie and they were like, you wanted to work for a TV company, you had to just take whatever WWE was going to give you. You had no
100%.
choice. Now you don't, right? Now, even if you want to go to WWE, you can go to AEW and go, hey, how much do you want to? And you could still sign. Like apparently,
100%.
Apparently, Stephanie is a Vakura backer.
Vakura. That's the way I say it. Stephanie.
Apparently, after her match with it was Forbidden Door last year, right? After her match with Mercedes, Tony Khan offered her a contract after that match.
Yeah,
and she was going to take it, but she always wanted to work for WWE, and she had some talks with WWE before that. So she called Shawn Michaels and was like, "Hey, they're going to offer me X amount of dollars." She didn't mention the dollar amount. Like she did to him, but not publicly.
Right.
They're going to offer me X amount of dollars to wrestle for them and give me, a spot on their main show, like on AEW, not in ROH. And he was like, "Oh, that's great. You should take that." And she's like, "Oh, why? Don't you want me wrestling for you?" And he's like, "Well, we do, but they'd put you, like they want you in NXT right now, and they're not going to give you that money. Like that's just then we're not. Like I know WWE, and they're not going to pay you the same thing they're going to. So you should take the AEW deal." And she called her dad, and she was like in tears, being like, "Oh, WWE doesn't want me because they said that they're not going to sign me to a contract." And he said to her, like, "If you really want to work there, you could still work there. You just have to make less money." And that's what she decided to do. And that's fine. That's what she wants to do. But they don't like that there's that option out there, right? That there's she could have said no and signed with AEW. Totally. And they just want to eliminate that option so that it's not there, so that they don't have to even think about ever matching anyone's salary ever again. Like they complained when Swerve resigned with AEW that he was getting paid too much and it was going to upset the market. And people are like, well, the market is whatever people want to pay, right? Like that's the market, right? If someone's going to offer you that much money, that's the new market. That's how capitalism works, buddy. Like you're like,
that's if someone's going to offer you that much money, you take it. That's how that works.
And now that's how much you're worth, whatever someone wants to pay you, right? Like, So anyway, I have two questions coming out of this. Sorry for going on a rant. It's WWE makes me mad. Two questions. My first question, UFC, it's related. UFC announced today that they're signing a deal with Paramount Plus. So all their pay-per-views are going to be on Paramount Plus instead of pay-per-view. Right. So it's probably going to be like a separate tier or something, but it's not a pay-per-view anymore. It's on a streaming service.
Right.
WWE signed their deal with ESPN where it's going to cost more now. It's not going to be on Peacock anymore. It'll cost more money, but it's still on a streaming service. You pay for ESPN, you get all the pay-per-views, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I was saying before about WWE doesn't want people who are curious to check out AEW. That's where they're running shows the same day. That's what I think that's probably true. Is the fact that AEW costs extra money for each show, is that going to hurt them now? Because if you can watch a WWE show essentially for free, if you have the service already, or even if you're mad at WWE and you don't want to watch them anymore, might you still watch, WrestleMania or this pay-per-view that's against All Out because you already get it, it's free, versus having to pay $40 or $50?
Me personally, I would still not watch it.
But I mean, say you're not, you've never seen AEW before, and you just heard people talking about it, and like,
because it has its name built in. Like people, it's like, oh, WWF, I remember, or WWE, excuse me, WWE, I remember that as a kid. Oh, it's on my streaming service now. Yeah, I'll check that out. I haven't watched it in 30 years. I'm sure a lot of people will do that.
But there's you are less, you can't do that with AEW. You have to fork over money, and people may not, right? If you're just curious and you've never seen the show.
True.
Right. Like if I'm curious and haven't watched wrestling in 30 years and WWE is on Netflix here, I might watch Royal Rumble or something because it's on Netflix and I already have Netflix. So sure. But am I going to pay $50 for a thing I've never heard of before? Even like my friend said it's good, and I've heard some stuff on the internet that it's good, but it also costs $50. Do you think that this is the pay-per-view costs is, there's a limit? Like the diehard fans will always buy the pay-per-views, but is it discouraging new people from checking them out?
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate first and foremost. So I'll answer your question and then I'll give you my real answer.
All right.
I'll answer your question is no, I don't think people are likely to do that because of the money. Like that's a lot of money to just check something out.
Right.
That being said, the internet exists and
Right.
people just people would just find a stream.
Yeah.
And I mean, perfectly legally find a stream and pay for it with their hard-earned money. But
Right.
that's how they would do it. But yeah, unless if somebody wants to check it out, they'll find a way to check it out. But spending their hard-earned money to check it out, no.
Yeah. I think that
But
is,
yes.
and I get it. I've heard from what I've heard, I think it was Meltzer who said that AEW pay-per-views sell really well, right? Considering they get, 700 or 800,000 people watching, 600 or 700 people watching Dynamite, 700,000 watching Dynamite. They sell like 150,000 pay-per-views or something, which is like a pretty big portion of your audience forking out $50 to watch your show. So for them to put it on a streaming service, include it in a streaming service, they would have to make more than that money, right? However much money, if they make $1 million from pay-per-view orders, they'd have to make more than $1 million on the stream for it to be worth that. So I get it, why they don't want to do that, because they don't want to just give up the money. But I do think it hurts. They're like, if you were online and you were reading a bunch of stuff and people were talking about how awesome Will Ospreay is or Tony Storm, and you're like, oh, I want to watch their next big show. Oh, but not $50 worth.
Right.
I can see that hurting them. And I think if they want to get, I'm not saying they're going to grow and reach the level of WWE. I'm not saying they will, but you obviously do want to grow your audience if you can. And especially with them on like Dynamite and Collision or on HBO Max now, people can just check those out whenever they want. That's probably growing their audience. And I think they have to find a way to put their pay-per-views even on some streaming service, even if it's like a premium level of HBO Max, where it's like $20 more or something, right? Like,
I think that's the next step. Personally, I think they will. I don't think it'll ever be as easy as it was on like the WWE network, where it's $10 a month and you got all the pay-per-views. Like you said, they'll have like the sports tier of Max or something, or HBO Max again.
Yeah.
Where
I hope they do that.
Same. But that would be like, if you wanted to watch them live, like if you just had the normal Max, HBO Max, sorry, I can't get used to calling it that again. I know. Where I think that this process will keep it the same. If you just want a regular subscription, like they're going to feed you a little bit per month. So you'll still be able to watch it, but you might be a month behind. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like, what's the delay now? Like, how long does it take for a show we don't get HBO Max here. Like for like All In that just happened. When is that going to be on HBO Max? Did they tell you or just sometime?
It'll be like next year.
Right. I think they at least have to shorten that down to where it's
100%.
Like, to where it's like a month behind or something.
Yeah. Because I mean, they just added
like the 2024 pay-per-views, right?
Yeah. And I think like we finally have all the Forbidden Doors now.
Right.
On HBO Max, which was like up until like the beginning of this month. There was I don't think there was any Forbidden Doors. So
yeah, I think they have to at least shorten that runway.
Agreed.
Frame, where like it's a month late as opposed to a year late, because like diehard fans are going to go back and check out. Oh, I heard Forbidden Door 2022 was really, or 2023 was really good. I hadn't seen it. I'm going to watch it. Whereas like if you're a new fan, you're not going to go back 3 years and watch a pay-per-view. You want to see like the recent one.
Right. Totally.
So that brings me to my final question. Thinking about it's, I know we're going long now, but I have one more question, and I think I know your answer, but just humor me. Where we're talking about WWE and AEW, WWE running shows in the same day as AEW, and I don't think they're luring any AEW fans away unless you're already going to watch the WWE pay-per-view, and that but they're not luring any people who would have paid money for that AEW pay-per-view. I don't think they're going to take those people away. I don't.
I agree.
Especially not with like, no offense, Cena versus Lesnar, because they're big names. I get it. And this is Cena's last year. I get it. But AEW fans are into like work rate and long in-depth stories. and 25-minute epic matches, not whatever 5-minute thing they're going to do with Cena and Lesnar. Like,
I'm just going to say Cena and Lesnar is not going anywhere near 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's not the match that's going to get people to watch. Now, is there a match that would get, maybe not you, but that would get an AEW fan to go, oh, maybe I'll watch that instead? Is there something WWE could put on that would potentially rival AEW? And it doesn't have to be better. It just has to be close to equal, because if pay-per-views are on Netflix and they're essentially free, right, it doesn't have to be better. It just has to be slight enough that you'll go, oh, I'll just watch the free one.
They would almost have to put on some sort of like barbed wire type light tube type match, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody there of the star power that would make anybody from the AEW audience, like, because we saw them all. There's nobody there that, you know, like you saw AJ Styles in his prime in New Japan. You saw nobody cared about Roman Reigns when he was pushed down your throat. So nobody cares about his the Usos. Like nobody cares about any of those names. That's an AEW fan.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I thought of was something involving AJ Styles or Finn Balor, but you're right that we've seen them in better matches in their prime. Yeah. So what could you do that would be better? Unless you stole someone from AEW, unless it's like, oh, Kenny Omega's coming, then you might want to see what his first match in WWE would be like. Like,
they wouldn't put that on free.
Right. Like, I've told you before, like when my whole childhood, I only watched WWF. Like, it's the only thing I watched. The only time I ordered a WCW pay-per-view was when Hogan went to WCW and it was his first match and I wanted to see it. And that's the only time I ordered a WCW pay-per-view was to see that. And the show was terrible and I never watched it again. But that was the only thing that would lure me away from like what I knew is the guy I knew somewhere else. Like that was interesting. Like if Hangman went to AEW, to WWE for whatever reason, maybe that would make AEW fans go, oh, I want to see what he's like over there.
But see, again, I think the average AEW fan would be like, oh, okay, good for him, but I've already seen it. Right. I don't need to see it there. I don't need to see the watered down version.
As you know, it's going to be a watered down version. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
The only other thing I thought of, and they'd have to do it right because the match probably wouldn't be that good. But if they had a very good storyline, like a well-built storyline between Cody and Punk, I think that might get some people to watch. If it was very, very well done, and like not rushed.
That has potential. I'd agree to that.
And only if they did it really well, to the point where it was a several month long storyline where they had like a real angle going into it, and I could see then some AEW fans going, "Oh, I know those guys. They were pretty cool when they were here. I want to see." They never wrestled in AEW, so that would be cool to see them wrestling. But only if they did it really well. If they just announced it, and 3 weeks from now they're having a match, no, I don't think that would do it at all.
Yeah, it would almost have to be like the Death Riders thing, like a year-long deal.
Yeah. Because if on the September 20th show, they're like, oh, it's Cody and Punk, you'd be like, why? And then, because the match itself wouldn't be especially good. Like, it'd be fine. But like, it would be the story that you'd want to see. So unless they did it really well. But it's very interesting. And that's another thing that I know we're going long. Last thing I'll say.
Okay.
That's one thing I'm very interested in, is that AEW now has its own thing, right? Its own audience, its own people, its own kind of show, its own, to the point where WWE fans probably won't ever really want to watch AEW if you're a diehard WWE fan. But I think diehard AEW fans also don't want to watch, like, they're just putting on such, it's so different. And not even that I'm saying it's that one's better than the other one, even not even pointing that out.
It's now 100% the alternative.
They're completely different shows, and they do completely different things, and they're nothing like one another at this point, other than the fact that they both technically have wrestling in a ring.
Well, I was going to say one is a sports entertainment show, WWE, and one's a wrestling show.
Oh, did you hear they're going to put ads during matches now?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
On pay-per-view, not like TV matches. Like, on pay,
something that you're paying for. They're going to make you sit through ads. Anyways, do you have anything else to add?
No, sorry for ranting for too long, but I feel like the AEW audience wants to hear a good anti-WWE rant. I got a lot of them, so there'll be more like coming up. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, I'm just you're not boring me. It's just past my bedtime and I'm starting to yawn here. Anyways, thank you once again, everybody. To all the new people, I had a few people reach out to me on Threads and on Blue Sky that they were going to listen this week. So welcome to the new listeners. We hope you enjoyed. I hope we didn't embarrass ourselves and you listen again next week. So yeah, thank you. We are at Elite City Pod on all social media. We are on YouTube. Make sure you make sure you leave a comment. That helps on YouTube, helps the algorithm. Trying to think. I think that's everything. Oh, make sure you subscribe and make sure you share. We'll throw the link out. Feel free to repost it. Feel free to copy it and paste it and make other people listen.
Yeah. And follow us on social media. Talk to us.
Yes. Yeah. We'll interact.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be back next week. Probably around this time. Sundays and Mondays usually seem to be our time. So probably be back next week, Sunday or Monday. So until then, have a good one. Later.